Your Excellency, I am about to invest you as a member of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem. Before I do so, and in accordance with the Order's custom, it is incumbent on me to address 2 questions to you. First, do you promise, so far as is consistent with your duties to your country, to pay due obedience to the governing authorities of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, as laid down in our Royal Charter?
I do.
Secondly, will you do all in your power to contribute to the dignity, prosperity, and utility of the Order, combating everything that is prejudicial to its well-being, and devoting yourself, so far as you are able, to the objects and purposes of the Order, most especially the Christian care of the sick and injured? And will you conduct yourself as a true knight and a man of honor?
I will. God be my help.
Your Excellency, on the instructions of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, the sovereign head of our order, I am about to invest and receive you as a Knight of Grace of the Most Venerable Order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem. Remember always that the cross which you will receive is the sign of man's redemption, that its arms symbolize the 4 cardinal virtues: prudence, temperance, justice, and fortitude, and that its points symbolize the 8 beatitudes which spring from the practice of those virtues. May its whiteness ever remind you of the purity of life required of those who fight for the defense of the Christian faith and who live for the service of the poor and suffering. Rise, conferer, I receive you as a knight of this most venerable order. As the Lord Prior of the Order of St. John, I have the enormous privilege of being able to represent all the members of St. John worldwide. If you take the members of the order itself, the very large number of volunteers, whether in organizations called St. John Ambulance or St. John or certain other variants, and those who are engaged as salaried supporters, if you take that group of people, it represents about 400,000, scattered between about 40 countries of the world. And to give you just one further idea of the scale of the activities of the order and the members of St. John, at the last count, the volunteers alone provided about 15 million hours of voluntary service each year to the communities which they support. Therefore, as you will understand, it is a great privilege and very humbling for me to be able to represent that vast body of people. But it is in that representative role, as well as speaking personally, that I would like to congratulate most sincerely the President, Your Excellency, on the recognition which you have today received. This is something which gives me personally, but the whole of the Order of St. John, the most great pleasure, and we sincerely congratulate you. But it goes beyond personal congratulations, because in a sense, the recognition is also for all members of St. John in Fiji, and, if I may venture to say so, by extension, on everyone in Fiji. Because what this is doing is, among other things, reaffirming the members of St. John in this country, and because St. John is a community-based organization, if you say it is a volunteer-delivered, community-based service in the wide range of health and other caring fields, and in the training and development of young people. The reaffirmation of St. John in Fiji is a reaffirmation of the communities that St. John serves, and so of the whole of this country. But St. John is not just an organisation which provides services to the community of its caring or training of young people. It is also a values organisation, an organisation which endeavours to reaffirm and support and encourage standards of honesty and decency and courtesy, to reinforce the defences which members of a community often need to resist the pressures of those who would lead them in a different direction and lead them astray. So if you would think of St. John both as a caregiving organisation and as an organisation reinforcing and affirming values. I would just want to say one other thing. I travel around the world as much as I can to those 40 countries which I have mentioned. And I know pretty quickly whether an organisation is going in the right direction or not. I have not the slightest doubt that St. John in Fiji is going in the right direction. As an international organisation, we are growing. We are expanding activities in the countries in which we are based. We are increasing the geographical scope in the countries in which we are based. And we are seriously engaged on looking at expansion in other countries. So when my wife and I leave Fiji in a couple of days' time, we shall go knowing that in the years to come, we will be able to learn of the progress of St. John in this country and the contribution which St. John in this country is making to the international development of St. John on the worldwide scene. For that sense of warmth and encouragement, I would like to take this opportunity of thanking you, Your Excellency, in your role as patron of St. John in Fiji, but also to thank all members of St. John in whatever their capacity for giving me this sense of encouragement, great optimism, and thanks for the enormous warmth with which my wife and I have been received, and indeed the way in which you have given real substance to the expression of Fijian hospitality. For all of that, thank you very much indeed.
The Lord Prior, your good lady, Anthony Mellows, the former Prime Minister of Fiji, Honourable Minister, your Excellencies, the Ambassadors and High Commissioners, members of St. John's, Fiji, ladies and gentlemen. Firstly, I would like to thank the Lord Prior and Dame Fellows for your encouragement and for your conduct of the Investiture today. St. John's, Fiji is indeed most great. What I want to remind St. John's, Fiji is that although I am the one who has the privilege of being invested today, it is really, as the Lord Prior has already mentioned, in recognition of the sterling work that St. John's, Fiji has carried out in the past. And I do not doubt that it will continue to carry out in the future. In the aid of the poor and the suffering of those in need. Ours is an organization, a family organization, a close organization that is here in the service of humanity. But to you all, I welcome you most sincerely to Government House on this occasion. I'm indeed delighted to receive you, my good lady and I trust that you are as honored as I am on this occasion. Thank you for being here. I am overwhelmed with your presence.